Hello Inkies and welcome to my weekly spread in my Midori, or my Traveller's Factory I should say. This is the third week that I'm doing this sort of spread and I am really enjoying it. I thought I'd just get straight into working into it without a bit of an intro, although I do an intro later so I don't know what I'm talking about. I am just adding some Posca marker to my pages to do my numbers, and I'm using the same numbers that I used last week because I really enjoyed them, and because I was celebrating Boo getting her award this week, I decided to do a very bluish themed, like a very heavily blue thing, which is Boo's favorite color. And I found an ink pad that I got in a stationery selection box. I get a lot of these little ink pads from Mitts in the stationery selection box and they're fantastic. They're colors I wouldn't normally buy, but they do really complement, and it's good to have more than just neon pink. I understand that not everything needs neon pink, even though I have the neon pink one there, but I do really love the sort of bluish tone against the really bright teal Posca marker. And again, I do it like this because it adds a barrier. I am also going into my box of Use It or Lose It to grab out those planner stickers that I've had for probably a good 2.5-3 years, and decided to just cover up the days of the week with these. I was going to use some of my printables, but I couldn't find ones that I liked enough, that matched enough, and that was small enough. So I hear you girls that need smaller days of the week. I hear you. Believe me, you should have seen me trying to find small days of the week, and I go, now I know what the A6 girls are doing. They're struggling. I get it. But at least I'm using some of these stickers that I've had for eternity, basically. That's the whole point. Use it or lose it. I will slowly get these stickers finished, and that is just the days of the week with a little binder clip and little prints and things. And then I grabbed out my Zig Clean colors, and I wanted to add some watercolor, but I didn't have my watercolors close. So I just grabbed a piece of acetate and my Distress Stains in Broken China. And then I just used a watercolor brush to sort of dab the wash over the pages to add a bit of blue. And then at one stage, I just dabbed the dabber right onto the page. Like that, I was getting sick. And then really, really quickly, if you add a bit of water, they will work like a watercolor and move quite quickly. So they're really lovely to work with, and they just gave a nice wash of blue to my page so I could honor Boo's favorite color. This was a piece of collage from a Sabrina Ward Harrison book that I absolutely love, and I love pulling that book apart. I'm going to have to buy another one because I feel like I use all the bits and pieces from there and I'm running low, and I really love it. So I think I may pick up another one on Book Depository. And then I've got these Use It or Lose It stickers. They're like weather stickers. Now we had a stack of rain this week and thunderstorms and blackouts, so it was totally worth it getting those out because I've had them in my drawers for ages, and I thought it's time to start using these things. And I just start putting in some fonts and some wording for major events that happened on the different days. Good morning Inkies, I hope you're well. Today I am going to be working on this, obviously. I want to get it done, even though it's like Friday at the moment, so I'm completely behind as usual, living my life in a state of always running late. But it's okay. It is very overcast and crap weather. I actually prefer this weather. I really like this weather, but for filming and lighting and stuff, it's awful. And for like walking to school and stuff, it's awful. But other than that, I really like that cozy, cold gray. It's very rare to get that in December unless we're having like crazy humidity, which we are at the moment, which is disgusting. But nevertheless, I will keep trudging along with my weekly spread. I've got my pens and things out. I'm just going to start filling things in. I'm trying to work out visually what I want to actually draw this month. Not this month, this week. I've got my son's signature bear from school, which I'm going to have in the spread somewhere. I'm also going to be, I think, painting a slice of pizza, which is where Boo chose to go for her like award night dinner. the other night. So I'm going to do that, and I may or may not paint the Mexican pot we bought my mother-in-law for Christmas, because I really, really like it, and I think it's something cool to put down, something different. It's not, you know, normal, and that sort of thing. And we also had Christmas carol, well, half of Christmas carols last night, and we had a huge storm hit to the point where Boo was just about to go on stage. Well, she was on stage. They got like 2 notes, 2 seconds into their song, literally 2 hip bumps, and the power went out while she was on stage, so she didn't get to perform. She was devastated because she'd been practicing forever. It feels like this is like her moment, and it got ruined. The power didn't come back on for hours and hours and hours later. So she actually wore a red glittery bow in her hair for Christmas carols, and like I spoke about last week with being not too literal, I am going to draw the glittery bow from her bun, and I'm going to also sort of scribble, do a scribbly black cross-hatching thing around it to represent the fact that it was a blackout and Lily was on stage, because I could sit there and physically draw Boo in a character style, but I don't have heaps of room. You've got to make creative decisions with this sort of spread, what you want to include, what you don't want to include, and I like the idea of having that red glittery bow and sort of the cross-hatch black. I was thinking about it last night while sitting in the dark, well, not dark, but candlelight, and thinking how could I represent this, and also having some little music notes and things, because we did see some of the performances. So yeah, that's kind of where my head's going. I do have like our little printout, but it's much too big to put into my journal, so I may have to like either, I don't know, keep it or chop it down or something, but I wanted to have some sort of representation of it in here, and I thought Lily's little red glittery bow that she had 2 buns in her hair, so I had the bow tilted to one side of her buns, and she looks so adorable. She's getting just more and more beautiful by the day. But yeah, that was like how I envisioned it in my head. Like, it was a good representation. I mean, they got snow cones and all that sort of thing, and I could essentially draw that in fairy floss, but I think Lily's bow and dark all around it is literally the epitome of Carol's Night and how I see it in my head, and I know that will trigger a warning. So I'm going to go through my watercolors. I know I've got Daniel Smith ones that have that glittery sort of look, and see if I can find one that matches her hair bow. So I will be doing that. I've got my tea because I'm still right on cue, still coughing. It's getting ridiculous now, and tea is needed. So I've got my Hong Kong Disneyland mug filled with hot tea. I will probably show little bits of me sketching, but not start to finish, because then it just takes a lot of time. So I will do that. Let's see if I can try and make it a little bit. There we go. Is that lighting better? Because I feel like I'm pushed up against the window, but it's blown out like really badly on there. So I'm going to see if I can fix that so it's not so bright. No, wrong way. So you can actually see what's happening. Even though I'm pushed up against the window and I've got my aperture up, it doesn't seem to be showing things as they are or as bright as they should be. I'm just having trouble with lighting altogether, really. But yeah, I won't do step-by-step drawing because that will just take a really, really long time. I will show you bits and pieces of the sketching process. I'm not going to draw in pink today. I think I might draw in lead pencil. So I have a Kuratoga, my Bambi one that I got in Japan that hubby found for me, and I've got my Mono Zero Tombow eraser as always. I have many of these in many different places because they are like bobby pins, man. They're the bobby pins of the art world. I lose erasers like crazy. I have a stash of them and they just go missing, and then I find them after I've purchased another one. So I have many of them that live in the vicinity of my home, some known, some not known, but yeah, they are the bobby pins of the art world according to me. I've got Gotta be careful. I've got my son's bear here. He forgot to take it to school today, which is kind of a blessing because I kind of wanted to sketch it. So I'll see how I go with sketching it. It's a very odd looking bear. So we may do a bit of creative interpretation with that one, I think. But yeah, let's get started. Grab your journals. I will be doing like fonts and things on the side because I felt like that was a really good part of last week. Just having standout things. Wednesday was my mum's birthday and all that sort of thing. So I'm going to have like big chunky letters, especially if days were very monotonous and didn't have any major standout items. But something like my mum's birthday is a standout item, but then nothing else happened on the Wednesday. So that's enough babbling. 7 minutes of babbling, guys, and I've done jack all. So I'm gonna have some tea and then we're gonna start sketching and getting this week started. I have to like adjust my brightness again. I feel like it's getting darker and darker. It's raining now. I'm not in love with the bear, but it's a the bear is ugly. Like I wouldn't tell my son that, but the bear is ugly. And so I accidentally made his eyes too big, so now he looks creepy. And being a left-hander, I smudged it already. But that's okay. And I probably wish that I didn't use this multi-ball. I'm pretty sure it's not the small one. Yeah, it's the broad one or the medium one. So it's a bit too thick for my liking, but it's what it is, guys. It is what it is. So I will just keep on trucking, even though I hate how thick the lines are. But I can't change it, and I will do Lily, because Lily signed her brother's bear, so I'm gonna make it less chunky, maybe with my grey multi-liner, because if I tried to write that in the black pen I was just using to outline the bear, it would be a mess. So I really wish it wasn't there, but I'm gonna leave it because it's significant to my son. And I think I'm gonna grab, can you hear that rain? Going to grab a pale zig marker because the bear's sort of like creamy white. I'm gonna use a pale grey to sort of color him in, and just be really careful about smudging and stuff. I mean, the pen is waterproof, but I did use the zig markers for some of the larger areas, so that is going to be a pain. But I'm going to stop talking because the rain is going to out sound me, and I need to go double check the front because for Christmas we bought Lily a new bed, and it is currently in our garage, but if it rains too much our garage almost floods, so you need to make sure that the drain hasn't clogged up with leaves and things. This is my life. I'm going to run out barefoot in the dirt with a broom to make sure that my daughter's Christmas present doesn't get destroyed. Life goals, people. Life goals. Hold up, I am on my way. I'm in motion. I love using my Zig Cling colors. They were a major part of my Hobonichi Draw My Days when I first started filming this and did it for 3 months straight. And I bought the whole set because I had a sample set and I absolutely love them. And they don't get enough use, and so I wanted to make sure that I started using them in my actual spreads. Now, in order to get like the glitter of her hair bow, I've added the Finetec watercolors into the red marker, and it worked kind of. I kind of got what I was looking for. I did try and look for a glitter pen, but I didn't have a red one, so adding that little Finetec was just what I needed to get that Christmassy gold glitter of her headband. And then I'm just coming in with my mechanical pencil and cross hatching some darkness for the blackout. Like I mentioned before, I really like how it stands out, and even though not everyone would see it and understand what it is, it instantly works for me and totally triggers that memory of when Boo was on stage and she didn't get to perform. I really do hope they put it on again, but I think it's a really fun way to have a detail without having the absolute obvious. So I really do like also adding, trying being the operative word here, trying different fonts and playing with like different looks of words. And this will be where I practice sort of my lettering, but lettering in my way, not in the traditional sense or the modern lettering. I can't do it. I know I can't do it, but I can definitely just play with fonts and play with different sizes and different looks and just see what I like. There's no hard or fast rules here. This is not going in a museum. So I do actually outline it in pencil first to see if I like it or not. And then I go in and add blue pen or whichever pen I really want to. Yeah, I had a bit of bleed through because I was trying to sketch into the wet paint, which was pretty dumb, I admit. And I wanted to add some color to some of the words. This was for presentation day, and I wanted to make some of the major milestones of the week a bit bigger and a bit more easier to see, and this was my way of doing it. But I'm really enjoying fancying around with fonts and trying to do lettering, but drawing the lettering more than lettering, if you know what I mean. I think someone mentioned, why don't you use it as a way to draw instead of trying to letter? And I think that was where I was having issues. Being a left-hander and my writing is very slanted, and I can't seem to get my lettering to be straight up and down. There's always a slant to it, and that just makes lettering look ugly. It makes my lettering look ugly, or my wannabe lettering look ugly. So this is a way where I can sort of hide all the bits of my handwriting that I don't love. But yeah, so I decided to start sketching out some pizza from the night that we took Boo out for dinner, and she did pick Bondi pizza. And I snapped a picture for reference because I wasn't going to try and draw it in the restaurant. So I just grabbed a photo quickly, and then I'm going to sit down and paint it for you guys. I'm just using my portable palette as usual. I don't know if I bring anything else in. I think I use some of the clean colors, but it's a very, very basic pizza. This is going to be a great way for me to actually practice and just get used to sketching real life things again and painting real life things. I think it will be really good habit to keep going with, which is why I'm really enjoying doing it for December daily. This stuff always reminds me how very out of practice I am at this sort of stuff. But I'm not going to let that get me down, because the whole point of this is to get back into a rhythm, to get back into feeling comfortable doing this sort of stuff. But I will let it be known that I feel very uncomfortable right now, especially since I decided to do this on camera, because, you know, why not show all your failures and like almost relearning to draw and paint online. But that's what's happening here. I'm not going to pretend that I'm like, I can pick up a pen and all of a sudden I know exactly what I'm doing, and it's like, right, essentially it is kind of like riding a bike, but you have to get comfy, and I'm not at that stage yet where I feel comfy enough
to just sort of go with the flow. I am not there yet, but I am getting better with each sort of sketch and stuff like that. I'm not trying to go for absolute photorealism. There's just really no time for that sort of thing. Definitely not in my world. If I wasn't filming, I would sort of sit and relax and do this on the couch and take ages and ages and ages to do one thing, which in an ideal world, that would be great. But there's such small nuances that you can't really see them on camera, and that makes it really hard. I really need to clean my palette. I say this all the time. This was a margarita pizza that we shared, or me and Boo shared, and I'm having issues. I may need to go get my smaller brush, I think, because I don't feel like it's going well.
I can take you anywhere, somewhere we won't be scared. You will see me flying high. I'm staring into your blue eyes. We don't need nobody else. I got you, and you got me too. I've been saving you, and you save me too. Yeah, I need it, don't you need
I think underneath here, because I didn't want to put it down because it would cover such a large area. I think I'm going to take a photo of all the books we picked up at the op shop on Tuesday was when we went to the op shop in the afternoon, and I think I was going to illustrate the titles, but I just don't want to spend that much time sort of trying to copy text and things like that. I don't want to spend the time copying text and stuff like that. I know in an ideal world I would sit there and meticulously do that, but when I'm trying to be and get those things down, I would rather just snap a photo of the spines and cut the photo out. I have taken a picture of Boo's medal. I did have it in a large form, like when I was doing my journaling the other day with you guys, but I just think it's too big. Like, that's the problem. So I'll probably put this one into my normal journal where there's a bit more size. So I did print out 2 Polaroids. These are actually my kids' feet, and I know this is a really obscure thing, but these are the types of photos that I love to have within my journal, because they're body parts that you don't normally photograph. I love the where I stand pictures, and they're normally taken from my perspective, but we were out in the backyard trying to distract Boo as her bed was being delivered, and so Elijah helped me distract her in the backyard, and I just wanted to grab a snap of their feet. I don't know why, it's just a motherly thing, or maybe it's just a me thing, I don't know. But I'm going to back to back those, I think, or I'm going to either put them on a tip-in the way I did here. I did want to try and avoid tip-ins, but sometimes when you don't have heaps of room, and I'm not sure what else I'm going to do. I think I might draw our pot down here in this little area and have it sort of off to the side, and then the books down here, and then I've got this little space here to work out what I want to draw, and that I'm not too sure about. I did do a very blue sort of themed spread because Boo's favorite color is blue, and because we were just celebrating her achievements and stuff. And I think that's kind of where my head's at. Maybe I'll books, owl. What can I put here? Thinking. Nothing else amazing has happened. Hubby was sick Monday, Tuesday. Maybe I'll draw my camera because I've been filming a lot this week. Or it feels like I'm filming a lot this week and getting ready for actually taking my break. So maybe I'll do a really lame interpretation of my camera. But I think I've always avoided doing my camera or that sort of thing because I feel like every day or every other day I'd be filming, so there'd be a camera in my journal all the time. So I might not do my camera. I'll work it out. Maybe my keep cup. Oh, I got my nails done. So maybe that's something I can sort of draw in there. Yeah. They're a different shape. It looks a bit creepy that there's only 3, but creative decisions. Maybe I'll make them a tad bit thinner because I think I kind of just went a little bit chunky. I've been putting off getting my nails done all week because I just didn't have the time, or hubby was sick, or we had the presentation day, and this week has been chaotic. Oh.
Your sketches in your daily drawing and stuff do not have to be picture perfect. They don't have to be absolute realism. As you saw, I literally did what a kid does in kindy. I traced around my hands, I put in my nails, and I'm coloring them in the shades that they are. And then I added some of the Finetec watercolors on top to give that sort of glittery halo look as they are in real life. But like, it's 3 fingers, it's super simple, but I really loved how it turned out, and it was just something fun and silly and something that you do in kindergarten when you're like tracing your own hands. I loved the whole concept of it. I've done it before on my Hobonichis. It's nothing new. I always just trace around my hands. It's the easiest way to sort of get a shape that I'm happy with, where I don't have to fiddle and faff, and I'm just using my Zig Clean colors and a mixture of Daniel Smith watercolors. And I thought that was a really cute sort of design element that was not perfect, but also super cute, and I'm really liking it. But like I said, I'm trying to tell myself this as well as everyone else that decides to do a daily drawing habit or drawing their day. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be literal. It's really late at night now when I'm doing this bit, so the lighting is a bit terrible. Actually, I don't even think it's late at night. I think it's late afternoon, but because it was so overcast, I had to put all the lights on. And I'm just drawing my mother-in-law's Mexican owl pop that we bought her for Christmas. I wrapped it up on this day. Well, I wrapped it up this week. We purchased it on Monday and wrapped it on Thursday, I think. But I really loved it, and I think it's going to be one of her favorites because she loves these pots, she loves plants, and she loves owls. And then when we saw the owl in the Mexican style, I just said to John, we have to get it. We can't walk away without this. This is going to make her day. And that is what Christmas is all about, making people stay and making them feel special. And I pride myself on buying perfect presents. And I know that sounds silly, but I really like to make people feel special on Christmas. I like them to feel like a lot of thought and love and care went into the presents that I buy them. And I have been dubbed the best present buyer of both families, the Diaz's and the Menses, which is my family, because I just take the time to find things that are unusual, that people don't even know they want, or they do want and no one can find them. My nieces always put a few quirky curveballs on their Christmas list because they know Tia, me, will make it happen. And I pride myself on that. I like making people feel special. So I had to draw the little owl pot because I think there's going to be an epic squeal out of Mama Maria's mouth on Sunday, because we're doing our Christmas super early because we are traveling for Aussie Christmas. I say Aussie and Colombian Christmases just to sort of break them up. But yeah, we're having ours tomorrow actually. So I'm currently sitting in an apron as I get ready to start deep frying all the Colombian food as I do this voiceover. But I really wanted to just sort of put one of the gifts down. I couldn't draw any of the kids' gifts because they don't know what they're getting. So I thought this was a nice sort of representation of the whole gift giving experience as a whole. And I put it down near Sunday because Sunday is the day that we're doing Christmas. But yeah, I love making people feel special on Christmas. It's my favorite thing about the whole thing. Yeah, so yeah.
How come the sky sometimes hides behind the clouds? Maybe it's just like me, a little bit scared of heights. Why does the rain always keep on pouring down when it's grey outside? It really makes me wonder. Yeah, it makes me wonder. It really makes me wonder. Ooh, I wonder. How come the trees gets undressed when it's cold? And don't they miss the leaves they left behind? Could it be to make the ground shine like gold until winter comes? Until winter comes? Until winter comes? It really makes me wonder. Yeah, it makes me wonder. Makes me wonder.
So I started sketching out some really basic buñuelos, which is like a deep fried cheese ball. It's something that I learnt to perfect over the years of being a Colombian wife. When I came to the family, the first Christmas, I was totally overwhelmed by how huge it all was. I am come from a very small family, married into a giant family, and all the cooking was done by the women most of the time, and Maria did a lot of it. And John and I have been together almost 8 years now, and over that time I've made it my mission to sort of learn some of the family recipes to take some of the stress off Maria as she gets older. And I wanted to make buñuelos because no one had mastered it yet, and now I am a totes pro. I am fabulous at it. I will take that glory because it's damn hard to get those things right and cooked in the middle, but still really nice and lovely on the outside. But it's one of my favorite things to cook at Christmas time, and I'm actually cooking that tomorrow morning. But I thought I would pop in some pictures of them, really basic pictures. They're like little golden golf balls. But they're really, really tasty, and they only get cooked around Christmas and New Year's. So only once every blue moon does my deep fryer get a workout. I literally use it twice a year, and then it gets put away, and that's it. So I did a little lightning bolt to signify the blackout and the thunderstorm. We actually had another one today. It's been crazy hot and humid. It's disgusting. It's hard to breathe with the humidity at the moment. It's gross. I really wish Mother Nature would just do like a 360 and give us winter for Christmas. Just 1 year here in Australia, just one. It would cause absolute chaos, but I'd really love to experience a proper white Christmas. I always say to John, let's just go and rent an Airbnb and go to the States for Christmas and just enjoy a white Christmas, like a proper one. Maybe one day. Bucket list time for sure. But I am pretty much coming to the end of this spread now. I did add some of my photographs to the page with some washi tape. I'm just adding little details to the Buñuelos. I'm not really happy with how they turned out, but we can't have perfection everywhere. It's not possible, especially when I'm trying to just go. And I decided to just tape my photos down so that they could be flipped and so that they could be I didn't want to make them tip-ins in the spine, but I also I didn't mind having a few elements covered up. And so I popped in the one of the feet and then popped a tip-in on the spine with John. And then I made sure Lily's little medal was front and center on the corner. It does cover up some of the days of the week, but I don't mind that. I also taped a Colombian lollipop wrapper to the back of Lily's medal picture because it was something that I had that I wanted to put in the spread, but I couldn't quite find the room, and I think I did that off camera. So I'm just adding little bits here and there into the crevices of the page, but I'm pretty much done. You will see photos of these pages up close in a blog post probably on Monday, because tomorrow we have Christmas. If I wasn't doing Christmas for Colombian, I would have it up tomorrow, but I will definitely get some still shots of these pages so you can look at them up close and personal. But I'm totally loving how this is looking. I hope you're enjoying this little series. If this is still something you want to see continue into 2019, please tell me. I will happily do some of these videos every now and again for you, because I know people miss seeing me draw and paint daily items. I'm looking at you, Burgess. So if you'd like this series to continue sporadically throughout the months, let me know. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, Inkies, and I will see you again soon. Bye!
Spoken. I imagine you right here with me.
When they started offering the customization, Katrin lured me in. She came and hung out with me one afternoon and told me that she had ordered this traveler's notebook that she was getting customized. And I was like, what? And I remember when Bam Kuchin did not a think tank, but when Superior Labor came over and they were customizing people's notebooks. And I remember sitting there just stalking their Instagram feed and completely green-eyed with envy because they all looked amazing. Now my Traveler's Notebook, my brown one, is the book that started it all. When it comes to Traveler's Notebooks,